Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Markets continue to rip higher today. A lot of risk on areas are excelling. Tesla is like the pillar of risk on, and it's not doing a whole lot today. Tesla stock is up about 10 cents on the day, up 0.03% at the time of recording this video. I will explain why that is in my view in this video, but I think this is presenting a very attractive opportunity heading into earnings, and I'll tell you why in this video as well. I did make a trade on Tesla for Tesla earnings, so keep in mind I am biased. If you guys want to see that trade, check out the link down below in the description of this video. I think that could be 1,000+% winner. But hey, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a financial planner. Anything can happen, and you are subject to lose all of your money if you trade options or if you listen to anyone on the internet. But with that, we have a lot of news to get into specifically for Tesla and what's happening today. I will also share with you some broader market headlines and economic data. The economic data this morning came in on the strong side, and that's one reason why indexes are pushing higher. Specifically, I'll mention here the Russell up 1.3% today. We talked about this in the previous video. You had this Wyckoff wick yesterday. That just means that markets opened on a high note. Sellers took over, drove the market sharply lower, and then by the end of the day, buyers stepped in and regained control. It shows a momentum flip from starting the day really strong, getting really weak, and then ending the day really strong again. Once you see those kind of days, these, lower wicks that are extended, it tends to lead to more upside, right? And quite dramatic upside in some instances, okay? There's like a 90% success rate in further upside, and, well, not super shocked today to see indexes doing well following the technical setup. We're not quite at a new all-time high today on the SPY, but getting pretty close once again. And I think we're going to blow past that previous all-time high. We do have some earnings as well that we'll report today and after hours and tomorrow as well. So hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts on all of this information down below in the comment section. And let's get started. Now, in the news as well today, the U.S. will impose a 93.5% tariff on battery components from China. Now, this caused Tesla stock to sharply sell off, but think to the $7,500 tax credit, okay? Like, just to qualify for that, you have to have a good chunk of components made in the U.S., right? Like the Model 3 and the Model Y are almost 100% sourced from America. Like there is very little exposure here to Chinese batteries in American Teslas, okay? Like I'm kind of confused why the stock is selling off, because Tesla does not use Chinese batteries in at least the highest selling Teslas in America. Now, this would be a bigger problem if like the EU did this, right? Because a good chunk of Teslas come from China to like Europe, okay? But you're not getting battery supplies shipped from China to go into US vehicles. That is not happening, okay? So I'm a little confused why Tesla's selling off on this, and I think it's an opportunity. Okay, so first things first, Uber is investing $300 million in EV maker Lucid in a robotaxi deal that aims to start with one major US city late next year, the company has said. Over 6 years, starting in 2026, Uber will acquire and deploy over 20,000 Lucid Gravity SUVs that will be equipped with autonomous vehicle technology from startup Nuro. Quote, autonomous vehicles have enormous potential to transform our cities for the better, said Dara Dawashki, CEO of Uber. Quote, we're thrilled to partner with Nuro and Lucid on this new robotaxi program, purpose-built just for the Uber platform, to safely bring the magic of autonomous driving to more people across the world. So This is seen as competition for Tesla. A lot of us are like, Neuro? Who the hell is Neuro to even begin with? And honestly, I didn't even know what Neuro was. It was founded in 2016. It says, quote here on Google, is a leading AI robotics company with fully autonomous vehicles on road today in California and Texas. The company's core technology is the Neuro Driver, an integrated autonomous driving system consisting of state-of-the-art AI-first software and automotive-grade L4 sense and compute hardware. So basically a robotaxi competitor. Honestly, if you want my opinion, I think it's probably a good thing that Tesla is under a little bit of pressure today via robotaxi competition, because I mean, if we can start to price in the robotaxi to actually get that moving Tesla stock, I think we're going to be brilliantly surprised coming on, the 23rd once we get Tesla earnings. Like, Wall Street is about to be shocked with potentially what Elon Musk says for guidance of robotaxi. So we were actually talking about this under the Tesla discussion tab in the trading community last night. Elon Musk has already kind of given us guidance on robotaxis, but nobody paid attention. Like, Wall Street did not pay any attention to this. They are effectively asleep at the wheel. And in the group last night, I said this is kind of like the strip club moment during The Big Short, where they're like, yep, we got a bubble. Like, this is the Wall Street is asleep at the wheel moment. Back on May 20th, this article says, Musk vows to fill U.S. roads with self-driving Teslas by the end of 2026. Hundreds of thousands. Okay, if we could start to trade Tesla stock based on robotaxis, I mean, hundreds of thousands, that's going to be huge for Tesla stock. And that's potentially what we're looking at coming on Tesla earnings. Now, Waymo has also announced that starting today, it is expanding its robotaxi geofence in Austin, Texas. So just when Tesla was starting to get ahead of Waymo, Waymo has tried to up Tesla, right? Up the ante on Tesla. So I think it's a little bit of pressure coming from this as well today. But again, that's great if Tesla is trading based on anything that has to do with robotaxi, because we know we are going to be outright impressed coming on Tesla earnings. Now, maybe you and I won't be impressed, okay? We already pay attention to what Elon says. We already have high expectations. But I can confidently sit here and say, like, the average, investor on Wall Street, the average analyst on Wall Street does not have high expectations for the robotaxi next year. Like, I would say the stock is priced for like a couple hundred robotaxis next year, not a couple 100,000. That's where numbers start to get absolutely crazy for Tesla. And I think, honestly, with Tesla now launching the robotaxi network, Wall Street's going to have to take it a lot more seriously than perhaps they did back in May. And Elon's words are going to be more like guidance rather than speculation. And that is why I did make an upside trade on Tesla for Tesla earnings. I do have a very specific strategy. If you guys want to, again, see that, check that link out down below in the description of this video. But what we really specialize in is going out and finding opportunity in small cap stocks in main themes that are going to be around for the next decade. AI, energy, robotics, biopharma, right? These trends are not going away anytime soon. I think we're actually going to go through a super cycle of these trends really starting to take hold in people's portfolios, right? I think there's going to be a chase in these areas and a bit of euphoria that comes. Now, mix that with a bunch of rate cuts, a good economy, and no inflation, in my view, by the end of this year. And I think, again, you're heading for a bit of a super cycle. But the strategy that we are really doing allows you to, invest in quality companies that are underlooked Again, not because they're bad companies, but because they don't have a lot of analyst coverage. They don't have big retail investor bases. They don't have a lot of presence in Wall Street portfolios, so they're underlooked momentarily. Again, Nebius was underlooked. Applied Digital was underlooked. IONQ was underlooked. Bought that at $7. Today it's in the 40s. Nobody cared about quantum computing 6 months ago. That's when I bought that company. I'm not buying that today. We like to buy things before they have their, explosion. And I've identified many opportunities in this market with similar setups. So come join that if you would like to. These are medium-term trades, just so you know. These are not day trades. These are like 12, 18, 24-month time horizons. Check it out, link down below in the description of this video. But back to today's episode. Sawyer Merritt has tagged Elon Musk in this for Tesla to increase the size of their geofenced area, okay, in the same shape it was in previously, but just to make it like twice as large, which would be hilarious. Like, even imagine how intimidating that would be if you were like a Waymo employee and you just double the size of your geofenced area because Tesla did, and then Tesla comes out and does that. Like, just a big F you to all of Waymo. That would be hilarious. Now, also in the news today, XAI has begun construction on the world's largest ceramic membrane bioreactor, MBR, to sustainably supply 13 million gallons per day of cooling water to their Colossus supercomputer and neighboring industrial plants in Memphis, Tennessee. Tesla has also started running vehicle-related paid advertisements on X again. Tesla Energy has been running ads for the last couple of years, but the company stopped running vehicle-related ads like the one below for a while. They have resumed. This one is highlighting the fact that battery packs retain about 85% of their capacity on average after 200,000 miles of driving. The fact that they offer an 8-year or 120,000-mile warranty is something maybe a lot of people don't know. Even like this phone here, right? Its battery health or life is at like 65%. Still works just fine. I mean, I need a new phone, but for context, 85% after that long is impressive. Also in the news today, automakers will face no fines for failures to meet fuel efficiency rules dating back to the 2022 model year under a new law signed by President Trump this month, U.S. regulator said. Last year, Stellantis paid $190 million in civil penalties for failing to meet U.S. fuel economy requirements for 2019 and 2020. After paying nearly $400 million for penalties from 2016 through 2019, GM paid $128 million for penalties for 2016 and 2017. Tesla has revealed that their vehicle fleet experienced just one vehicle fire per 155 million miles driven, compared to 19 million for the US average. That means that a Tesla vehicle fire is 8.1 times less likely than the US average. That's not something a lot of people are aware of. And Volvo has announced that it's scaling back its US model lineup this year because Trump's tariffs are making it harder to sell a broad range of vehicles profitably. Tesla has released a new video of FSD supervised testing in Sydney, Australia. This was posted on the Tesla Australia and New Zealand X account. We did recently hear that FSD was already planned to launch in Australia this year, but it's being slowed down by regulation. So this is likely Tesla's, push to say, hey, we have video proof showing that FSD works just fine in the country. We just need your yes from a regulatory perspective. UGL and Neon have successfully installed its 1,000th Tesla Megapack across all 5 Neon Megapack projects in Australia, with 2,000 Megapacks on the horizon. They say, quote, "To date, we have installed Megapacks weighing a total of 37.8 million kilograms, surpassing the combined weight of 9,000 elephants, and we look forward to reaching 2,000 Megapacks in the future." Now, here on the day today, despite the pressure that Tesla's stock is coming under, option activity from hedge funds and institutions is quite positive. You have 40 different trades totaling $73 million with a positive order value of 94%. Like, look at some of these trades, right? Let me point out these two right here, okay, or these three. This one is a January 14th, 2027 $700 call worth $3 million, okay? A December 18th 480 call worth $283,000, and a December 18th 475 call worth $295,000. These are large trades that are far out the money. Someone is betting that Tesla stock is going to rally quite aggressively between now and the end of this year. I mean, and these options are not exactly what you would call cheap, okay? These 470 calls expiring in December are $1,200 a piece. Somebody is, making quite a bet on Tesla stock here in the near term. That's 50% out the money just to break even. And that other trade that I showed you, the $700 call expiring June 17, 2027, that is 700 days from now, is 131% out the money, going for $3,900. Okay? Like, yeah, there is that's quite a bit. Just for shits and giggles, okay, I want to tell you what the stock is pricing in as far as the options chain by June 17, 2027. So if you wanted to buy these options, here is how much you'd have to see Tesla stock move by, at least to roughly break even. Okay, the calls are like 20-25% more expensive than the puts, so that sounds good. So people are bullish on Tesla generally between now and 2027, but it's pricing in about $189 of upside from here. In a percent, that is pricing in about 60%. So you need about a 60% rally in Tesla stock. That's roughly what it's pricing in between now and June 17th, 2027, about 700 days from now. I think we could get a whole hell of a lot more than that. So even though these options are expensive, I think there still is opportunity here. Although that's not how I like to trade options. I like to take a small amount of money and try to turn that into a large amount of money. But again, that's not financial advice. Options are risky and you could lose all of your money. Now, also in the news today, this headline says, Tesla failed to stop autopilot misuse. A safety expert testifies. So that doesn't sound great from a headline perspective, although it's not going to do anything to Tesla stock. And I will say that as we get closer to earnings, you're probably going to get more of these negative headlines. This one here says, too much hype, too few profits. Tesla stock fans should heed this warning before July 23rd. This is really bullish, right? Because it highlights that people are not very optimistic about Tesla. They are bearish. And the more bears you have, the more room there is for an upside surprise. That's what I'm looking forward to on Tesla earnings. And we'll talk about exactly what I'm expecting a little bit more in depth in the next video. Now, here on the day today, short sellers in Tesla are covering about 200,000 shares. So that looks positive. You have 2.81% short interest of free float, $25.34 billion sold short in Tesla, totaling about 79 million shares. And again, let me just tell you, if Elon yet again confirms we could have hundreds of thousands of robotaxis out on the road next year, you're probably going to see the biggest short squeeze you've ever seen in history. Like, these shorts would be absolutely screwed because we are now operating the robotaxi. And even if Elon is 90% wrong, you'd still have 10, 20,000 robotaxis out on the road next year. That is substantial and far more than what Wall Street is currently pricing in today. Now, it looks like last month, U.S. tariff receipts soared to $87 billion. Canada's finance minister says Canada is going to double down on getting the best trade deal. Wells Fargo has suspended all travel to China. Apparently, there was someone that was in the finance industry that traveled to China, and then she was hit with an exit ban upon trying to leave, so forced to stay within China. So kind of weird things happening there. The Atlanta Fed GDP Now index falls to 2.39% for Q2 GDP, down from 2.58% before today. The BOE, Bank of England, is testing scenarios that include the US dollar swap market drying up, according to sources. Yeah, that's a scary thought. Also in the news, Amazon's AWS cloud computing unit is cutting jobs. That doesn't sound great. 77% of US adults say they are not completely financially secure, up from 75% in 2024 and 72% in 2023 per bank rate. More than 25% of employees at the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration are taking early retirements, data provided to Congress shows. This could also be something that is hurting Tesla today because early retirements may delay robotaxi approvals and safety reviews, creating regulatory uncertainties for, Tesla. This could impact deployment timelines. Potentially. Now, Vought says the president was clear. He's unlikely to fire Powell. Trump today reiterates a call for lower Fed rates in a Truth Social post. Trump says, quote, "Too late, great numbers just out, lower the rate." The SEC and Elon Musk asked the U.S. judge to give Musk 6 more weeks to respond to the regulator's lawsuit concerning his late disclosure of his Twitter stake. Fed Kugler says core goods inflation is reflecting the pass-through of tariffs. Kugler says trade is the main driver of U.S. economic outlook. Kugler says CPI shows inflation broadening across core goods. Again, the Fed is delusional, ignorant. I don't know if these guys need to go back to school and take an econ class or what's going on. Inflation is only ever a money printing phenomenon. Tariffs are not printing money. If anything could be inflationary, it's something like the deficits in the big beautiful bill, but not tariffs. I don't know what these guys are really doing. You gotta just leave the Fed. If you don't understand that tariffs are not inflationary, tariffs do not create a multi-year inflation problem. Sure, can they create, one-time price increases? Of course. But the argument is tariffs are going to create a wage price spiral. And if you think the labor market is so strong, you can go to your employer and say, hey, tariffs are hitting. I need a big raise this year, and just have it happen in large. That's never going to happen. They are disconnected from the reality of the American economy. Kugler says it's appropriate to keep policy rate of interest steady for some time given low unemployment and building price pressure from tariffs. Barclays sees upside potential for Tesla, citing a setup that could lead to outperformance. Deutsche Bank has said, "We consider the removal of Chair Powell as one of the largest underpriced event risks." Now here on the day today, we did get better than expected economic data. Retail sales month over month came in at positive 0.6%. Last month's number stayed the same at negative 0.9%. The estimate was 0.1%. So you came in way stronger than the estimate. Export prices month over month came in at 0.5%. Estimate was 0%. And import prices month over month came in at 0.1%. The estimate was 0.3%. But I do believe a lot of this is influenced from the dollar that has weakened a lot. So I don't think markets take many clues or cues from that. Initial jobless claims came in at 221,000. The expectation was 235,000. So you were actually expecting initial jobless claims to go up. They actually fell from last week. Now, Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index came in at 15.9. The consensus was -1, and last month was -4. So all things came in good there. Retail Sales Control Group came in at positive 0.5%. Last month was positive 0.2%. Consensus positive 0.3%. So that was a beat. And retail sales excluding autos, which is what a lot of people look at, not just the headline retail sales number, came in at positive 0.5%. Last month was negative 0.2%. It was actually revised up 1 point from negative 0.3%, and the forecast was 0.3%. So last month revised up, so not as weak last month, and better than expected for this month. All in all, great numbers. Now, business conditions in the Philly area came in at 21.5, that beat. CapEx index came in at 17.1, that beat by about 3 points. Employment beat by a lot, coming in at positive 10.3. New orders came in at 18.4, that beat a lot. And prices paid, unfortunately, came in way higher as well at 58.80. The NAHB housing market index came in at 33, in line with the forecast. So across the board today, it really was pretty good economic data. Now, TSM soared to a new all-time high today following their earnings. The stock up about 4% at the time of recording this video, so that is definitely boosting the overall AI sector today. Now, today and after hours, we're going to get earnings from Netflix. That's the big one. That's going to move your tech names, Interactive Brokers, Lockheed Martin, Bank of Ozark, First National Bank, Western Alliance Corporation, and some others. And then tomorrow morning, we even have quite a bit of earnings. Huntington, 3M, Truist, SLB, American Express, Charles Schwab, Ally, Comerica, and Autoliv that will report. So let me know your thoughts on all of this down below in the comment section. In the next video, again, we will talk more specifically on Tesla's earnings, where I think the stock could go, why I'm so bullish on Tesla heading into earnings. It's actually quite simple. If you guys want to see the trades that I am making on Tesla and some of the other investments that we have made within the small cap area of just under the radar stocks, some of these stocks I can't believe they're trading at some of the levels they're trading at, check out that link down below in the description of this video. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.